course, this thing is getting interesting all of a sudden.
You can listen or download the podcasts there or access them via iTunes, TuneIn, and Stitcher. Just visit pgatour.com/podcasts.
Second round of the BMW Championship, another difficult day for scoring at Olympia Fields Country Club. Certainly was a tough day for Tiger.
The distance to the pin is 481.1 yards.
Woods straightens up and the ball rolls by. Wow. I'll tell you what, he just looks a little disinterested at this point, and can you really blame him? Because right now, as he taps in for bogey, he's 9 over.
Now, needs to be in contention to win this tournament to advance, and Tom, that was a tough round 2 for him. He may not recover.
Earl, you know, I really think the struggle started late in the first round. He played the front 9 for his second 9 and bogeyed 7, 8, and 9, and the difficulty continued in the second round. It's going to have to be a very, very special weekend here at Olympia Fields Country Club if Tiger wants to make the top 30 in Eastlake.
Winner to start the FedEx Cup playoffs, Dustin Johnson last week at the Northern Trust. He's in the mix again.
5 feet for birdie to get back to level par on the day. DJ strokes it outside right, turning
left. The distance to the pin is 227 yards.
At 14. Now, I know the golf course gets difficult here in a second, but that moves him back to +1 with 4 to go.
Yeah, he 3-putts 16, but a bounce-back birdie at 17 puts Dustin Johnson, our leader in FedEx Cup points, in the mix going into Saturday.
Leader to start the day Friday was Hideki Matsuyama, and he picked up an early birdie in his front 9 Friday.
75 feet away and chipping. Sends it onto the surface, checks up a little bit, releases and rolls, turning left to the hole for Matsuyama, and it's in. Right into the middle, chipping from 75 feet away. Matsuyama with a 2 at the 8th and -4.
That's the only highlight of the day. He would make 4 bogeys coming in. The big problem for Hideki Matsuyama, fairways 3 of 14. That was a good 73 for Matsuyama.
There are a couple of highlights for Patrick Cantlay on the back 9. He holed one out for an eagle 2 at the par 4 11th and then closed with a great birdie at 18.
Some 35, 40 feet away from home. Cantlay strokes it with the pace outside right, but this is diving hard left, trying to hold its line. He made it off the flagstick. You've got to be kidding me. How about the adrenaline of that one? We had a hole-out eagle today, a chip-in birdie, and now the most unlikely of threes from way right off the tee for Patrick Cantlay. He gets it into the house in red figures heading to Saturday at 1 under par.
He's one of those guys who usually plays tough golf courses well, and Will Haskett, he's doing it again so far this week.
Stayed right in it mentally, Earl, which I think was the key. And sometimes when you have that good mental focus, good things happen. The chip-in birdie today, the hole-out eagle from some 50 yards out. It's going to have to tidy up a couple of things, find a few more fairways on the weekend. But we know the pedigree there. And if this golf course gets a little bit more scoreable or not, either way, Patrick Cantlay in a great position to break through in these playoffs.
One player Friday who certainly found plenty of birdies on the golf course was Rory McIlroy.
40 feet away. The strike comes up, rolling up to the cup, needs the turn, and it did. It did. What an unlikely deuce on the card there for Rory McIlroy. Narrowly avoids the bunker, and then the chip-in. He has birdied 2 par 3s today, and Rory McIlroy is back to 2 under.
And Rory McIlroy is back. The spring is in his step. He hasn't played well, but look at this finish. That birdie there, par 17 and 18. And yesterday he played the last 3 holes in even par. That's a tough stretch to close on. Rory is excited about the golf course and the prospects on a course that he calls proper golf. You got to hit some fairways, got to hit some greens. It's going to be a tough challenge, and he's excited about it going into the weekend.
He should be Fred Albers. McIlroy may be playing his best golf since the restart.
He is so much fun to watch. I mean, he winds up and just wails on that driver. Some distances today, 358, 378, 363, 355 off the tee. But as impressive as that driver is, and it is a new driver this week, it's his putter, put in on an old putter, back in the bag. He made 5 birdies on a very difficult golf course. If Rory McIlroy regains his putting stroke, he could win this thing.
Be sure to catch our third-round coverage from Olympia Field starting Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. Remember, you can always listen free on a computer or mobile device at pgatour.com/live audio or via the Tour's official iPhone, iPad, and Android apps. And, Dennis, as we get set to wrap it up, scoring average is 72.76. So it's right there where it was at the end of day 1 all of a sudden.
It's all about tonight and how much moisture hits this golf course. There is a storm a-coming. How much is it going to drop is going to be a big factor going into Saturday. If it doesn't rain tonight much. Cooler conditions and low humidity, this course could get really, really difficult.
Ready.
Our broadcast team is proud to don quality products from the following valued partners of PGA Tour Radio. Apparel provided by Cutter and Buck, and PGA Tour apparel, hats from Imperial Headwear, umbrellas provided by Gustbuster
The
and
distance
outerwear
to the pin is
from
9 feet
FootJoy.
and 10
If you didn't
inches.
have access to a television or simulcast this afternoon, you can still catch a re-air of today's second round telecast tonight, 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Eastern on golf. You can catch a re-air of our broadcast tonight beginning at 9 p.m. in the East on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. The coordinating producer of our play-by-play coverage is Alan Trexler. The producer is Kelly Clemens. Our associate producer is Valerie Seward. The engineer is Joe Gregory. And the executive producer of multimedia programming for satellite radio for the PGA Tour is Dave Loeb. For Dennis Paulson, Fred Albers, Will Haskett, and Tom Wormy, our PGA Tour radio team, I'm Earl Forsey. Two players under par, Patrick Cantlay and Rory McIlroy, the co-leaders south of Chicago at the BMW Championship.
This broadcast and all associated rights, including copyright, are owned exclusively by the PGA Tour and may not be used in whole or in part without the prior written permission of the PGA Tour.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars
Ready.
for Kids. Donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
To learn more about our programs and to donate, go to carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy.
The distance to the pin is 150 yards.
Tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Vacation voucher not available in Oregon.
Be up your mornings with the starter on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. Taylor Zarzour will catch you up on the latest golf headlines and get you ready for each week's tournament action. Plus, you can listen in as he talks with the biggest names in golf, sports, and entertainment and takes your calls all morning long. The starter, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern, only on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. Sirius 208, XM 92. Brought to you by Pinehurst Resort. 9 golf courses, 1 legendary destination. Visit Pinehurst.com to plan your next golf getaway.
Pinehurst Resort, home to the famed Pinehurst No. 2, has hosted more golf championships than any other site in America. And the U.S. Open returns once again in 2024. The resort also features 8 additional championship-level courses, including Gil Hans's stunning redesign of Pinehurst No. 4, named the best new course you can play by Golf Magazine. 9 golf courses, 1 legendary destination. Visit Pinehurst.com to plan your next golf getaway.
And now, SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio's resident golf historian, David Marr, with a U.S. Open memory.
On October 4th, 1895, the USGA held a one-day afterthought, immediately following the 3-day U.S. Amateur. In only his 3rd tournament, host professional Horace Rollins was awarded a gold medal, a $150 first prize, and the title of inaugural U.S. Open champion.
U.S. Open Week starts September 14th on Sirius
The
208
distance to the
XM
pin is
92 and
21
on your
feet.
SiriusXM app.
It's Catrick and McGinnis on tap, where the conversation never runs dry.
At 20 years old, I could have a mortgage, but I couldn't drink a beer.
The guys are here to take your calls. Now, your hosts, Emmy winner Brian Catrick.
Back when he was angry and had a show called Teed Off.
And 2-time defending Listeners' Cup champion John McGinnis.
John, you're the wind beneath my wing.
It's Catrick and McGinnis on tap on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio.
Ready.
Yeah, we know. Stop. We know DJ's still on the golf course. We know Tiger and Bubba are still on the golf course. We're PGA Tour Radio. This is what we do. We'll get them in. Don't you worry.
The distance to the pin is 14 feet and 10 inches.
He's 1 over par. That puts him 1 shot or 2 shots back. We'll let him play 18. We'll tell you what happens. I promise. Jim Herman has 3 holes to play. He's also 1 shot back. And Tiger and Bubba still out on the golf course. They have a couple of holes left to play. Very difficult golf course today. I mean, insanely difficult golf course at Olympia Fields. As of right now, and what will inevitably be the case overnight, 2 guys under par, Patrick Cantlay and Rory McIlroy, the defending FedEx Cup champion and the most underrated guy on the PGA Tour. Hideki Matsuyama shot 73 today. He shot 73 today, and he's in third, 1 shot back. When was the last time you could say that at a PGA Tour event? This is, I think, for those of you who enjoy the gaming, a wager, for entertainment purposes only. Boy, do I have some good news for you.
I didn't want to talk about it before the game.
The distance to the pin is 342.7 yards.
Keep watching it. That video, if you watch that video, you don't need to be black to be outraged. You need to be American and outraged. And how dare the Republicans talk about fear? We're the ones that need to be scared. We're the ones having to talk to every black child. What white father has to give his son a talk about being careful if you get pulled over? It's just ridiculous. And it just keeps going. There's no charges. Breonna Taylor, no charges, nothing. All we're asking is you live up to the Constitution. That's all we're asking for everybody, for everyone.
The distance to the pin is 81.6 yards.
Welcome in, Brian Geltzeiler, Sam Mitchell with you for the next 3 hours here on SiriusXM NBA Radio. The voice you just heard is Los Angeles Clippers head coach Glenn Doc Rivers. An impassioned speech he gave after the Clippers' victory over the Dallas Mavericks to take a lead in that series 3-2 on Wednesday night. And a lot of what he said in that speech certainly helped encourage and spur the Milwaukee Bucks towards their boycott of games on Thursday. Well, we got a lot of news going on. Sam and I are going to get to all of it here. Warren Gross producing for us.
The distance to the pin is 29 feet.
Today, pal?
Yes, I'm doing pretty good, man. I had a good day this morning. Got a chance to babysit my grandson.
You love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess every time I see that little fella, man, it almost makes me
The distance to the pin is 7 feet and 6 inches.
And you think about man, what a hell of a year this has been. And I tell you, and it's not over. 2020 can't end fast enough for me. We need to get to 2021 as fast as we can. I mean, running if we have to.
And the tough part, Sam, is we got a lot of track left in this race. Plenty of time coming up. Yeah, I just, before we got on the air, had dinner with 2 of my 3 daughters. And it was lovely and nice, and it was good, and we kind of got to hold on to the good things here. One of the good things we got to hold on to is we're getting NBA basketball back tomorrow. Players have made a determination they're coming back to play. And there's so much for us to get into. We actually are going to have some basketball news in the next 3 hours to discuss, where really we haven't had a chance to really get a lot into the games, a lot into news in terms of what's happening. We're going to be able to do that here. But what I wanted to do, Sam, is read the joint NBA and NBA PA statement, NBA Players Association statement from earlier today about the players coming back to play. And this is a joint statement between the NBA Players Association Executive Director Michelle Roberts and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. This is the statement. We had a candid, impassioned, and productive conversation yesterday between NBA players, coaches, and team governors regarding next steps to further our collective efforts and actions in support of social justice and racial equality. Among others, the attendees included player and team representatives of all 13 teams in Orlando. All parties agreed to resume NBA playoff games on Saturday, August 29th, with the understanding that the league together with the players will
The
work
distance to the pin is
Number
151.7
one,
yards.
to immediately establish a social justice coalition with representatives from players, coaches, and governors that will be focused on a broad range of issues, including increasing access to voting, promoting civic engagement, and advocating for meaningful police and criminal justice reform. Number 2, in every city where the league franchise owns and controls the arena property, Team governors will continue to work with local election officials to convert the facility into a voting location for the 2020 general election to allow for safe in-person voting option for communities vulnerable to COVID. If a deadline is passed, team governors will work with local election officials to find another election-related use for the facility, including but not limited to voter registration and ballot receiving boards. Number 3, the league will work with the players and our network partners to create and include
the distance to the pin is 43 feet.
NBA playoff game dedicated to promoting greater civic engagement in national and local elections and raising awareness around voter access and opportunity. These commitments below follow months of close collaboration around designing a safe and healthy environment to restart the NBA season, providing a platform to promote social justice, as well as creating an NBA foundation focused on economic empowerment in the black community. We look forward to the resumption of the playoffs and continuing to work together in Orlando and in all NBA team markets to push for meaningful and sustainable change. Sam, we discussed this. We've been on the air 2 nights in a row now. This is our 3rd night that you and I are on the air together discussing these issues. We talked about voting being the most important thing that the players wanted the owners to partner with them on. It looks like the players have gotten their way on here.
The distance to the pin is 13 feet and 5 inches.
To make sure that voting is as easy as possible for as many people that want to get to the polls and vote. The owners and the Board of Governors are putting their money where their mouth is and partnering with the players on this. Great job by the league across the board.
Now, girls, let's think about this. So for people, because something kind of, and I normally don't do this, someone sent me an article today, and the article was a really positive article. And after reading it, I could scroll down and see the tweets and stuff, comments that people make. And it's disgusting, man, how people. So, first of all, I know better.
The distance to the pin is 328.5 yards.
But girls, think about what the players are asking for. Every American should be outraged. Not the fact that we have to create places for people to vote. Because our government is shutting their places down. Our government is making it difficult for people to register and to vote. Now think about that. In this country, this is not some third world country with some dictator. This is the United States.
The distance to the pin is 100 yards.
Guess it ain't about money. It's the number one democracy. It's the place that every...
Get Brian Katrick through the microphone a little bit faster. But I get to go to Vegas, and I'm fired up about it. I'm excited, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun to cover that golf course. It's a golf course that you just really got to see on TV for the first time last year or a year and a half ago when Tiger and Phil played the match. I think that was the first time it had ever been broadcast. And you'll get to see a whole lot more of it as we go forward. And that's fun, too. So I'm going to Vegas. That's the big news from my house.
The distance to the pin is 8 feet and 4 inches.
And Dustin Johnson, incidentally, the number one player in the world, has just birdied the 18th hole. And he's now one shot back. He said a FedEx Cup is an important thing to him. FedEx Cup is the missing piece in his resume. He has a major. He's come close to winning this FedEx Cup a couple times. He's put himself in great position. He and Rory McIlroy have had duels
The distance
before.
to the pin is 9 feet and 7
This
inches.
is setting up nicely for a duel. But as I mentioned, Patrick Cantlay, the most underrated player on the PGA Tour, and Hideki Matsuyama, who with a hot putter is as good as anybody on tour, stand right there. And Adam Scott has a little burr underneath his saddle these days. He's at 1 over par. So we have 2 players under par and 2 players at even par as we make our way into the weekend. Jim Herman could actually join the crew. So could Bubba at even par with birdies down the stretch.
The distance to the pin is 289.9 yards.
18th hole now, and he's at 2 over. And we'll keep you up to date. We'll let you know what's happening. BK will tell you what he saw in the featured groups coverage today, which is always entertaining. I believe Tiger, who's played terrible today, by the way, and probably won't make East Lake, as it turns out, was in one of the featured groups. So
I love some creativity I saw from Tiger.
The distance
by the way,
to the pin is 111 yards.
Just for a few minutes. And it's the full NBC crew. It's Faraday and Dan Hicks and Paul Azinger and Roger on the golf course and Gary Koch in the tower.
Ready.
I thought it was awesome. I had not heard those guys in a while. I missed them. I mean, look, I love the CBS crew. I love the Golf Channel crew, but it really enjoyed what was happening here. Really enjoyed seeing those guys, hearing those guys, and we'll see what happens over the weekend. They will cover it.
The distance to the pin is 111.9 yards. Ready.
All right, some big stories in the game. Big stories.
Ready.
That I thought were finished. There's a strange rule on the LPGA Tour that I was completely unfamiliar with, and now as we go forward, Sophie Popov won the Women's British Open, and you win a major, it comes with a 5-year exemption. That's how that works. Well, not so.
The distance to the pin is 69
feet. If you're
feet.
not a member of the LPGA Tour, it comes with a 2-year exemption. Same win. You beat the same field. Well, Sophie missed her card by a shot last year at Houston. One shot.
Ready.
But she got in the field there, and she won the golf tournament. And the LPGA Tour is telling her that, okay, you get a 2-year exemption because you weren't a member of the tour. And there's a history.
The distance to the pin is 32 feet.
But to me, this is just wrong. And what's wrong about it is they gave her the same trophy and the same purse. You know, it's not like she wasn't trying to play the LPGA Tour. And there's plenty of ladies.
The distance to the pin is 6 feet and 9 inches.
A handful of them who won majors and decided that they didn't want the exemption. Okay, that's fine. We're okay with that too. If you don't want to take the LPGA Tour exemption, if your home tour is Japan or Korea and that's where you want to play